give them necessary support.
And the health department is urging the public not to panic over the growing spread of the Mpox disease on the continent. Yesterday, the Africa Centre for Disease Control and Prevention declared Mpox a public health emergency. Noluthando Ngeno reports.
Scientists from the Africa Centre for Disease Control and Prevention are alarmed at the speed at which a new strain of Mpox has been spreading. The strain has reportedly crossed borders, affecting thousands of people across the African continent. While South Africa has only recorded 24 cases to date, Health Department spokesperson Foster Mohale says there are measures in place to safeguard citizens.
Yeah, in South Africa, we are lucky because as much as this treatment is very scarce across the world, through the intervention and the donation of World Health Organization country office, we managed to secure Mpox-specific treatment.
Meanwhile, the World Health Organization is meeting to decide whether the Mpox surge on the continent should be declared a global public health emergency. Noluthando Ngeno, Eyewitness News.
A fine day in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 8 degrees, peaking at 22. Tshwane 9 and 24, Vereeniging 8 and reaching a high of 23 degrees. Lerato Huffler, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
947.
#MSW. You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
It's a promise I'm making here that we are going to find the Tatianas in the rural area. She might retire from professional swimming, but she's not retiring from helping us look for the Tatianas in Soweto, in Guguletu, in El Dorado Park.
As a sports person, one of the hardest things to do or to achieve is to qualify for the Olympics. You do not just wake up one day and say, listen, I think I'll just go to the Olympics next week. It is a lifelong journey where you dedicate yourself into your craft and you sacrifice so much.
That beautiful, sizable, noisy crowd that was at the airport, many of them were school children, eagerly greeted some of the team and Team South Africa's returning medal-winning Olympic heroes at OR Tambo International Airport. Bayanda Walaza.
And so my experience, I was enjoying it. It was nice. For me, at first I thought I was not going to run. That person was like, you know what, I'm the youngest and they have stronger people. So for me, it's a vacation. So yeah, let me go and enjoy. But yeah, as soon as when I realized I was in the team, that shocked me a bit. I was like, you know what, okay, now it's time to, because I was eating ice cream every day there. I was eating ice cream. And then when Coach Paul came to me and was like, you know what, boy, now it's time to be ready. You are running. And that's when I was like, you know what, okay, now it's serious. Then I stopped eating ice cream. And
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW.
It was a very simple message that was posted on X, and it simply said that as a bid au revoir to Paris, I want to thank Olympic Broadcasting Services for giving me the opportunity to work at my 6th Olympic Games. Thank you to my colleagues, old and new, who enriched my experience at the Games. And that was coming through from who?
Brarop, Sir JC here. When the Olympics games started, I was sitting with my family, and then we just switched on because we were watching something else, and then we went to the opening ceremony. The minute I heard Dwayne Deluxe's voice, I was jumping up and down in the dining room, trying to tell everybody who he is. And I think he moved to Australia. I was trying to tell them that no, he was here in South Africa. We were just hanging around with him. And so now he's in Australia, and now he's doing the Olympics. Look how knowledgeable he is. You know, the information, whenever he was saying something, you see, I will try and tell them that, you see, he's got so much information about this, and then he's not even reading from the news, from the paper or anything. He's saying these things out of the top of his head. So yeah, congratulations to the man himself. I was so happy to hear him on that opening ceremony. Thanks, Brother. Good show as always.
CJ, thank you so much indeed. And he's referencing Dwayne Delocq, South Africa's own world-renowned commentator, who managed to handle very eloquently the opening and the closing ceremonies of the Olympic Games that were staged in Paris just a couple of days since the closing of the Games themselves. But you know what? It's not the first time, it's the sixth time of his involvement, as the message so loudly said. And we can only appreciate what he does. He's moved from South Africa, but, his roots always firmly planted here on the continent and in the country. He's an island as we speak. He's been attending to 3-year-old daughter. And we're back with Dwayne Delocq. Dwayne, good to have you on the line, man. Welcome back.
It's great to chat to you again, Robert, and a good evening to all your listeners as well.
Yeah, we had to extend this, so for you who was joining for the first time, we were, started a conversation with Dwayne Delocq in the earlier part of the show, and we decided to extend it. You know why? Because he deserves it. He deserves for us to say thank you, Dwayne. Thank you for representing us, for being on the world stage and international stage, at the Olympic stage, and doing it so well. Because as you're reminding us, it's how many Olympic Games now?
6, half a dozen. Would you believe?
Wow.
My word. I feel like I'm getting old now.
Never that. But there's still an appetite for the organizers, as you thank them on X, to say, please come back. We love what you're doing. Was it ever part of your plan when you were a commentator at the SABC, when you were a commentator at SuperSport, doing football and doing other sporting codes, to say, you know what, I actually fancy myself at some point being part and parcel of the Olympic Games?
I grew up as a young kid who played sport and who desperately wanted to represent South Africa at the Olympic Games, and that was all I wanted to do. And unfortunately, I sort of drifted into playing cricket more seriously than any of the other sports. And cricket is not an Olympic sport, at least not until the T20 makes its debut at LA 2028. So I never recognized that Olympic dream. I never even realized some of my cricket ambitions. But when I started working at 702 at Primedia Broadcasting and subsequently at the SABC, and then I started to recognize that maybe there's an opportunity I could represent South Africa at the Olympic Games in other ways. And I've been very, very fortunate to have gotten the opportunity and to, it seems, take that opportunity with both hands, because I keep getting invited back. It's like they can't get rid of me now. But in all seriousness, I think it's something that I absolutely dreamt of doing as a kid, was to represent South Africa at the Olympic Games. And now, in many a sense, when you look back at historic moments at the Olympic Games, the first COVID Games, the first Games in South America, for example, my voice serves as the welcome soundtrack to the world. And my brother reminded me of that a few times over the years, that you're a part of history, and even when you're dead, you will still be part of that history.
Sure. And I think he's absolutely right, because the Olympic Games, they never die.
I certainly hope not. I firmly believe in what the Olympic Games sets out to achieve. I firmly believe in the Olympic ideals, and I think it's one of the greatest events of all humankind, whether it's sporting or otherwise. I believe that this is something that should be a highlight for everyone forever, and really hope that is the case in the years beyond our generations, and indeed in generations and decades and centuries ahead.
What was it like, though, to have the fans back at the Olympic Games, though? Because for us who were viewing this, especially in the earlier stages when the swimming was on, and you would look at how they really reveled at the families being in attendance, having that front row opportunity to take selfies almost immediately when they got out of the water. But just the fans in general, that idea of bringing the families closer to the competitors and the athletes as well, just take us through that, Dwayne.
Yeah, that's a great question. If you think about it, there was the Zika virus fears in 2016 in Rio. The pandemic obviously delayed the Tokyo Games and saw the first Olympic Games without any fans. So to have fans back was absolutely sensational. For atmosphere, for energy, for the encouragement, for the inspiration of the athletes themselves, I mean, that was one of my undoubted highlights, was the French fans applauding every good moment, but also creating this incredible atmosphere, particularly for their home hopes. But to also have so many family members of such grand international athletes who were, crafting or outliving their craft at the very highest level, and to do it in front of family. For many, it was the first time that they were able to do that, and to do it at the highest level, which is the Olympic Games, was utterly remarkable. And I think it was an extraordinary Games because many of the athletes hadn't experienced anything like this before, owing to 2016 and 2020 Olympic Games. I absolutely loved it from start to finish. I couldn't get enough of it. And at the golf, which was one of the things that I got to commentate, the men's golf in particular, where Victor Perez, the home hope, was wowing everyone. 30,000 people coming home in 29 on a par 36 back nine to finish one stroke out of the medals. That was absolutely incredible. And I was sitting there with goosebumps listening to the crowd chanting his name and singing an a cappella version of the French national anthem as well. But they were applauding everybody, and it was one of my highlights, undoubtedly.
And a fantastic job you did of that, because somebody was asking me about the golf. What do you think about the golf being part of the Olympic Games? And I said, why not? I think it's one of the most important sport in and around the world. And I think to reach a level where you're seen to be exceptional, where you're seen just like the basketball players who, when they get together as the best of the United States, they don't play together, in the NBA. They play against each other. But what can they do collectively? And yes, golf, it's an individual sport, but we've seen through time the fact that some of the greatest stars, though, in golf, when it comes to different tournaments, they can never really crack it. But the consistency of the golfers, some of the new names, whether it's the men or the women, Dwayne, for me, just remained a fascination for me to observe right throughout the entire time, especially when the golf was on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on. I mean, in a sense, there was this element of doubt about golf being part of the Olympic Games when it returned after 112 years in Rio, mainly because you got majors to play for, and there was this doubt about who would take the Olympic Games seriously as a golf tournament. And I'll tell you what, after the Rio 2016 golf tournament, every top player wanted to play at the Olympic Games. Rory McIlroy led that drive and was there in 2020 and was here again in Paris in 2024. We saw the surge and how the top golfers in the world who qualified made their way to play in the Olympic tournament time and time again after Tokyo and Paris, and certainly many looking forward to coming back for LA in 2028. We had 8 of the world's top 10 golfers in the men's, 9 of the world's top 10 golfers in the women's. It shows that an Olympic medal means something. You've got 4 opportunities in the men's game and 5 opportunities in the women's game a year to win a major. That means 20 times in the women's game between Olympic gold medal shots. And for some, the Olympic gold medal actually means more. I'm not saying for everybody, but for some, the Olympic gold medal means everything. To watch Lydia Ko from New Zealand winning the women's golf, completing her collection of Olympic medals after silver in Rio and bronze in Tokyo, to claim that gold in Paris and earn the 1 point she needed to secure LPGA Hall of Fame induction, that was something else. She's only 27, but she did it all. She completed golf at the Olympic Games, and for me, that was one of my breathtaking moments. I was absolutely flabbergasted. I had a tear in my eye and I had goosebumps on my arm as I was commentating her set up that final putt. I couldn't even commentate after the putt rolled in. I actually left it, just let the audience roar from the audience, just take it, because it was such an emotional moment, such a poignant moment. And I didn't want to ruin it by saying anything to break that. Oh. That's how important it is.
And I think for any broadcaster potential that is listening, that is significant, though, because sometimes people feel the urge to say something when there is no need to say anything. But for you to keep quiet, maybe you signal to the camera, they can see you in the control room, and then they just, up the noise, as they say, give the noise to the people, let the people back home enjoy the moment. Talk about noise and people. The scenes coming out of Botswana on arrival of the heroes. I don't know, Dwayne, if you've seen anything of this nature anywhere, but what a moment. What a wow.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of my wow moments of all was Letuli Tebogo, who became the first African to win the men's 200 at the Olympic Games, and he did so in 1946, big continental record, and to do it against the likes of Kenny Bednarek, Noah Lyles. Yes, we found out afterwards he was running with COVID, but to then win this Olympic gold medal, to become your country's first ever Olympic gold medalist, then to dedicate it to your mother who passed away, I mean, just made it all the more significant. And then to come back in return for silver in the men's 4x400 relay. I mean, Botswana's won 4 Olympic medals now in total. Letsile Tebogo has been involved in 2 of those, the 200 gold and the 4x400 relay silver medal. I think absolute hats off to him, and absolutely deserving of the crowds that turned up to line the streets, to fill the stadiums, and to celebrate their heroes, because they are. I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you qualify for the Olympic Games, you are a superhero. If you make the podium, that achievement is even greater.
And if you carve out your name in history like Tatiana Smith?
Wow, yes. She left with gold in the 100 breast, silver in the 200 breast after she won the 200 breast and silver in the 100 breast at the Tokyo Games. So she's got 4 medals like Chad Leclerc, but she's got 2 golds to Chad's 1. So a remarkable achievement from Tatiana Smith. I think that 100 as well, if ever a race showed how key pacing was in swimming events, that was the one. She was 4th at the 50 turn in 30.62 out, but I think she called on a lot of her 200 breaststroke skill to make a push on the back half, and she came home in 34.66 to take the win by almost 0.3 of a second from the Asian champion Tang Chanting. I mean, this is a race in which the USA's world record holder Lily King finished 5th. I know the time was slower than her prelims time. I know it was even slower than her silver medal winning time in Tokyo. But it's about finishing ahead of the other athletes in your race. It's simply the order of finish that takes precedence, and how she secured that Olympic gold, coming from well behind the field to touch first at the wall. Yeah, I was blown away by it. I didn't get a chance to watch it live, unfortunately, this Games. I had to watch it on a little video player that we're allowed to carry with us so that we can watch live events happening when we're committed elsewhere. And that was absolutely one of my highlights. Again, tears in my eyes just watching this, because it meant so much to see Tatiana do that.
Wandile Mtana on X says that legend Dwayne DeLocke is a true pioneer of the art of sports commentary. Generally, his ecstatic coloring may not have been to everyone's taste, but there is no denying that his knowledge for the game captured the mood of a nation perfectly. Wandile, thank you so much indeed. Shupi as well. You remember Shupi, hey? The great man from Mamelodi Sundowns. He says, you know what? It's always great listening to the number one commentator, Dwayne DeLocke. He says, great analysis as always, and so many more other messages that are coming through. I'm just squeezing these in here because I've got to say goodbye to you pretty soon. I'm interested in knowing whether the Paralympics, again, are going to be in your hands.
They are, but not the opening ceremony. I'm going to be at the Paralympic Games. So I'm home for a couple of days, and then I return to France in a few days' time. I'm going to be doing all the para swimming at the Olympic Game, at the Paralympic Games, and then I'm going to be commentating on the closing ceremony. So effectively, I've bookended the Games in Paris. The opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, the closing ceremony of the Paralympic Games. It's been a long stretch, but it's going to be an incredibly rewarding one. I think para swimming is right up there with my favorite of any events, anywhere, anytime. And I think we're going to see remarkable world records and some of the most inspirational athletes in the world competing yet again. So I'm so looking forward to returning to Paris to do the para swimming, and then the closing ceremony where we get to celebrate all these achievements and more.
Oh, man, looking forward to it. Dwayne, all I wanted to say is, I know you're in Ireland right now. You're heading back to Paris pretty soon. All the best for the Paralympics. As South Africans, as Africa, we just wanted to say thank you very much indeed. You uphold, I think, the dignity of what you do with the depth of knowledge and the excitement, the exuberance of what you do in only the manner in which you do. The world has listened to you. We've heard you. We love what we hear. And can we please have some more of that? We salute you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And just remember, I will always be South African. Whether circumstances have me living elsewhere for a while or not, I will always be, and I'm so proud to be an ambassador on the global stage. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thanks so much. That's Dwayne DeLocke, a well-renowned commentator. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Who does it better? It's not a competition. It's just a case of give the banners flowers.
Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. Hashtag MSW.
Deal or No Deal, the show that has given more than 5.5 million rand in prize money, has a new home, SABC2. To play with me, Katleho, and stand a chance of winning up to 250,000 rand, go to dealornodealsa.tv to register and get a chance to change your life. Deal or No Deal, now on SABC2, weekdays at 6:30 p.m. with a rebroadcast at 11 a.m. and on SABC3 at 5:30 p.m. Proudly sponsored by Lotto Star.
Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18s. National Responsible Gambling Program. 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Ready to make your grocery shopping more rewarding? With African Bank's international award-winning Audacious Rewards program, earn up to 5% in points when you shop at ShopRite and Checkers with your African Bank card. Thanks to the bank that backs you. Switch at your nearest branch and enjoy Audacious Rewards. Rewards you can count on. African Bank. Audacity to believe. African Bank Limited is an authorized financial services and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Starting route towards new adventure. Turn right. Recalculating. No deposit. Recalculating. Reduced interest rate. Recalculating. 48 months. You have guaranteed the future value of your Suzuki Jimny 5-door.
Arrive at your next adventure with a selection of great deals and a starting price of 429,900. Join the Jimny culture at suzukiauto.co.za. T's and C's apply.
You stumble out of bed, trip over your dog. You run down the stairs, the dog trips over you. You pour hot water over his food, but hit your hand instead. You drive to the park. As you open the door, 4-paw Thunderclaw bursts out, slamming the door right into your face. Ow. Being human is complicated. Your medical aid shouldn't be. Simply be with the best. Be with BestMed Medical Scheme. Visit bestmed.co.za. BestMed Medical Scheme is an authorized FSP.
Okay, perfect, Shomi. I'll see you ladies after work. Bye. If you're like me and have a busy schedule at and after work, then you need to keep Oma close. Oma Rusks are my snack time bestie for a quick and tasty pick-me-up before mid-morning meetings or as an afternoon boost. Crunchy and satisfying, Oma Rusks are delicious to dunk in whatever cup of tea or coffee I'm drinking. Oh, that's me again. I gotta go. Just remember, with Oma Rusks, you can make snack time dipping delicious.
It's Vodacom's birthday, and you get the gifts. Work at home without the lag on up to 100 megabytes per second home internet with 2 terabytes data for 599 Rand per month. Experience faster connectivity on SA's most reliable network. You could be one of 900 customers to get 3 months of your bill paid back in Vodabucks. Sign up or upgrade and stand a chance to win. Here's to the next 30 years of giving you more. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Let's touch base now with the newly signed Algerian outfit for CR Belouizdad. Striker Kanyiso Mayo's father, Patrick Mayo, proud to see the legacy of the Mayo household continue way into the 2024 years and beyond.
It's a feeling that I can't even explain. The way I'm so proud about Kanyiso, what so far with his achievements, and you can see him now, he's becoming more matured.
Where's that maturity coming from? Because, sometimes the youngsters, when they get such fame, it goes to their heads. And
I'm sure it's because of the way that I'm criticizing him when we were at home. Always criticizing him in a destructive way so that he can be a better player tomorrow.
Hashtag MSW. Hashtag MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
All right, 25 minutes after the hour. It's a busy day today, and no busier than when we have a special guest who's popped in to visit us. I normally see him when he's down in KZN, and today he's in our Joburg studios, and there's always something very special whenever a player is extremely, extremely talented. and at the same time extremely humble. Now, such rare breeds, believe you me, you don't find them everywhere. And that's exactly what my guest has, amongst a lot of things, to be counted amongst those very gentle gentlemen of the beautiful game. Now, a man who throughout his entire career has worn his good heart on his sleeves, and he does it all the time. I don't know how he manages. Was often referred to as the pint-sized maestro. But I don't like such words because, there's really nothing pint-sized about his heart and his talent. Certainly dazzled with his bravery and grit. If you go back to his days at Ajax, Cape Town, then there was SuperSport United, and there was Kaizer Chiefs, Mamelodi Sundowns, AmaZulu. Hey, he chooses the big guns. He doesn't mess around, this guy. But I don't know. I try to look at his feet. He wasn't wearing his boots, yeah? So I don't know if he's hung them up or he's still kind of semi-wearing them. I've got no idea. I don't know what's happening in his life. I just know that Laurel is here, his beautiful wife of how many years now?
7 years.
7 years?
Yes.
What's it been like, Laurel? While we wait for George, I think George has gone to the bathroom. Being Mrs. Maluleka has been what to you?
Definitely a roller coaster. It's not always easy to be married to a soccer player because most of the time you have to pretend you have a husband because they're never there for the functions, birthday parties. So people just have to take your word for it.
That you are married.
Yes.
Without actually seeing the guy.
Exactly.
But how difficult is it? Because that tag, you said it, I didn't say it. You said to be married to a soccer player. Because that also comes with its own little innuendos and it comes with its own little anything. For you, what has it meant?
I think it just means compromise, actually. You meeting each other halfway. Where he can't pull through, you pull through, and where I can't pull through, he pulls through for me. It's really just helping each other out.
What's been the difficulty?
The difficulty is having kids and explaining to them that their dad just missed them in the morning because he's got back at night, they woke up in the morning and they barely see each other. I think getting them used to being away has been the most difficult. But it's also been so exciting for them to see him. He's such a role model to them,
And because they didn't expect me to chat to you, you've made him drink that coffee in 2 seconds. That is just how you've unnerved him. You saw that. We just poured that cup of coffee for him.
Yes.
It's as hot as hell. He's finished it now. He's like, oh my God, my wife is talking on the radio. What is she going to say? What did you say?
No.
So you witnessed that.
Yes.
But all I'm saying is that throughout all of those challenges, be it the kids, be it not seeing him, football's a very limited career.
Yes.
In terms of years, in terms of potential injury, in terms of lasting memories.
Yeah.
And they've got to understand that. They might not understand it now because, yes, they are kids.
Yeah.
But do you think they get an idea?
I just don't think that a limitation on his career should make him show up as a dad.
Yeah.
It's a temporary thing. Being a father is permanent. So him not being able to be present all the time doesn't make him an absent dad. He's still there. His career doesn't determine his contribution to their life, So he's been blessed enough to play the game. And so many people don't ever get to play or live their true potential. God has given him this opportunity, and I feel like that should be celebrated.
Why him?
Why not him?
What made him to be the chosen one for you?
God's grace.
How did you find that through God's grace?
In high school, one random day when this weirdo came up to me.
What did he say?
I'm going to marry you.
No way. Up front.
First day.
Not how are you cold,
No.
are you warm? He just said, I'm going to marry you.
No. My first day at the High Performance Center, I was there for swimming. He was there for soccer. He walked into my locker and he said, hi, I'm going to marry you.
Oh, man. Sure. I think Minister Gayton McKenzie spoke about all you need is love.
Yes.
Who needs such shows when, you got people who live it in reality.
Yeah.
And 7 years down the line, here you guys walking through into our studios in Sandton at Primedia. as happy as can be.
Yes.
And we said, okay, cool. You the guest, George. You step in. George said, no, I need my better half next to me. I said, okay, fine. We're family here. We don't discriminate. We don't say, okay, wife, you sit there, have popcorn, we'll give you knickknacks and stuff. So you're both here.
Yeah.
And he's as shocked as hell. He's wondering, Rob, what the hell are you doing to me right now? This is life, George. You must be strong. You were brave enough to ask her to be your wife. And you were brave enough to tell us to have her in studio. So we all benefit now with the wisdom of how everything started. Do you want to take anything back? Do you want to challenge anything that she said?
Not at all. She hit the nail on the head. And before I even go ahead, good evening to you, sir, since you went on ahead and spoke to Mrs. Maluleka. So, officially.
Do we have to greet, though? That's like so old school.
No, we don't. You know, whenever...
You didn't greet her. You just told her you want to get married. So why are you greeting us?
She started with the greeting.
No, we are hlonipha, so we understand that, which means that there's a great grounding that happens all around. So she's greeted for both of you.
I couldn't hold it in. I couldn't. I just had to let it out.
I appreciate you, sir. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome to your interview.
Thank you for having me, Mr. Marawa. It's always a good time.
Welcome to your joint interview now. Narelle, thank you, man. You're a superstar. I appreciate you bringing and being with this man through all your ups and downs. You still live to see another day. You still live to, I don't know if you still want to be a football player anymore. You know, I've been reading, I've been seeing people saying, you know, the 35-year-old, is he about to hang up his boots? Is he about to join another club? It is transfer. You know, they didn't sign the extension of a 1-year option on the AmaZulu's deal and so on. So all of those things are things that we know, we've seen, we've heard.
Yeah.
So I don't know on the 14th of August, 2024, at 18:33 and 33 seconds, where you stand in terms of this football.
But I hope it's a very simple answer. I'm a bowler. I'm still a bowler. I love football. I'm passionate about it. I'm still club hunting, and I believe something will come up. So we're working very hard. My agent is still out there, you know, trying to make sure we get the right deal. But I still have a lot in my legs.
Yeah.
I still have a lot in my legs. So not about to hang the boots just as yet.
What's the interest like? I mean, what's your agent saying? Are the clubs asking? Or maybe they feel sometimes that, oh, George is too expensive.
It could be the case, but I've always said, like, I love this game too much.
Yeah.
I think at this point in time, money this is the last thing on my mind, you know. I've always been on the field, and that's where I want to be. So I just want to play, man. I just want to play.
Because I'm sure you got a vision of how you wanted your career to come to an end.
Definitely.
Not abruptly.
Definitely.
Not because somebody didn't sign an extension of a contract, of an agreement. You wanted it to end your way. And your way is what?
I think in my way is playing that last game, you know, saying my last goodbyes to my colleagues, that particular club that I'll be playing for.
Yeah.
Also saying thank you for everything, you know, to all the supporters, everyone that has supported me throughout my career. And it is going to happen.
In a world of wishes and dreams, where would you actually want your career to end? If there was a choice, and I've got like 16 jerseys that are lined up here, because I'm sure you want to do it in the Premiership. You don't want to do it in a lower division. 16 jerseys, you've got the dot in your hand. Where do you want it to land?
I'm going to be honest. There's no particular team, Mr. Marawa. I think at the moment, like I said, I just want to play. I want to be on the field, you know, and I'm very confident that something will come up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a specific team. And if God does lead me there to go to the lower division, then so be it. It means I'm supposed to be there. So there's no particular team.
Besides how I've described the ending at AmaZulu, is there any other clarity that you wanted to give the people that are listening, your fans?
Can you please repeat that again?
Besides what I said.
No, I think the AmaZulu ending was, I don't want to say a train smash, or it wasn't a bad thing. I think maybe it was meant to go the way it went. I would have loved to stay, but it was a horrible season. My second season was terrible.
Based on what? Why though?
I got injured. I didn't play enough.
No, 100%.
I didn't play enough. I wasn't on the field enough. And the coach, I was having a lot of discussions with the coach. He wanted to use me. I'd do well in training at times, sometimes not. Get injured, after coming back from an injury. So it was just something that was reoccurring, and it was very frustrating for me at the time.
Because at the time, you kind of made, 2 appearances in 17 games. And for a peak, George Maluleka, that is not your return.
Definitely. Those numbers are scary.
Yeah.
So like I'm saying, frustration, definitely. And you can imagine now, I'm saying to myself, listen, I need to get back, And I think at times I even rushed myself to say, hey, you need to be on the field, And the way things were going also, knowing that I can contribute to the team's success and coming back, training and getting injured again, it was a lot. It was a lot.
But then as they normally do, these club bosses who are going to be listening to the show right now, and they're saying, oh, he's available. Oh, is he still injury prone? So that would be the next question for them. How do you put them at ease in terms of that? At what stage now of either recovery, full recovery, potential injury? I don't know.
Yes, no. I'm fully recovered, and that's one of the first questions that I get. Like, hey, are you okay? Like, are you good to go again? And I'm okay. I've been training. I've been seeing my bio a lot more. He works specifically on those muscles, the specific muscles. So I'm good to go now.
Yeah.
I'm good. And like I said, honestly speaking, if I'm honest to myself,
sure,
definitely 2 seasons. And then I'll be ready to call it quits.
At 37?
I think so. But then I could decide when I get there because,
to add another year.
Exactly. We love it too much. So if I get there and I'm still in good shape, then why not?
But who inspires you? It's easy to say, okay, look at a guy like Ronaldo. He does what he does, was at the Euros. He still plays at the highest level in Saudi. Look at Messi. He's done what he's done in Spain. He's playing in America and he's still doing what he does with the national team. And these guys are 40 knocking plus. And they're still doing it. And they're still attracting the people who want to come and watch them play. Does that motivate you?
Definitely. Before you even went to Ronaldo, I was thinking about the late shoes. The Zupepe as well. The late shoes was 41.
Yeah, he went to AmaZulu as well.
Belenamvete.
Yeah.
And these are guys that I was on the field with at some point when I was still a beginning, And it's so inspirational to see them go to that age. That just tells me it's possible and I can do it. So if I get to 37 and ngisagijima praropa akekho umuntu ozongimisa ngeke siyaphambili.
Regrets though. A lot of people say moving to Sundowns at the time you did. The timing. When you reflect back, was it the right time?
How long ago was that? I'm gonna
think about it, sir.
Let me think. When was this? 2019? 2020? That's a while back, bro.
You got a good memory, though.
Am I on point?
You got a good memory.
The timing was. I can't say if it was right or wrong. It wasn't my decision to make.
Yeah.
To be honest, it happened, and that's just how it went down. It really wasn't in my
So
in
not
my
your
control.
decision to go to Sundowns.
It was my decision to go to Sundowns, but
Yeah.
not at that point, because if you remember, there was still the bubble.
Correct.
And I couldn't be involved in the bubble because of the offer that was made on the other side.
So it was a case of the offer being too good to be true. Because you spent, 2 years at SuperSport United, and in 2014 you went to Chiefs, and you spent then the 6 years at Chiefs, which then led to 2020 to move to Sundowns. And obviously when you got to Sundowns, things took a little bit of a turn, because at the entire time at Sundowns, you made 19 appearances at the team. You'd obviously wanted more, but you're saying that the hook and the catch to get you to Sundowns was the offer they put on the table, and the fact that you wanted to win trophies. I remember the words of Peter Msimane saying, "Hey, kid, you want to win trophies. This is the place you want to win trophies at."
No, I won trophies at Chiefs.
Yeah?
I won trophies at Chiefs. I won trophies with SuperSport. I just missed out with Ajax. So I won trophies at Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with the offer. But like I said, just to go back, it had nothing to do with the offer.
Yeah.
I wanted to finish what I started, which was win the league and then move. And that couldn't happen, unfortunately.
Give me the unfortunately. I have to go to a break. The unfortunately is not sitting well with me.
Let's go to the break. It's fine.
No. The break will be broken with your addressing the unfortunate.
No, it was unfortunate. Like we couldn't agree on terms.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Hollywood Bets gifts you multiple mystery parcels filled with super surprises every Wednesday and Sunday evening. Bet R2 or more on selected Playtech slot games and stand a chance to win up to R1 million in cash weekly.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
That's offside, ref! Yes!
If you're the champion of refereeing the referee, Cadbury sees you.
Jabu, breathe.
If you're the champion of making peace, Cadbury sees you too. Whatever kind of champion you are, you stand a chance to win 250k with the Chocolate of Champions. Buy any 2 Cadbury chocolates to enter. T's and C's apply. So if you're the champion of the aux cable,
guys, can we play some jams?
Cadbury sees you too.
Need a loan? Pay for what you need when you need it with a personal loan from Nedbank. And if you open a My Goals Plus or My Goals Premium account, you can enjoy 200 Rand cashback every month for the duration of your loan. That's 200 Rand every month to buy extra groceries or save for a rainy day. Visit nedbank.co.za and join the bank that's best for your loans. See money differently. Nedbank. We're a licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
Good health starts on the inside. Biogen Multivitamin Plus offers a comprehensive vitamin and mineral supplement designed to support daily energy and immunity, boost mental performance, and combat stress. Available in senior 50 plus and children's gummies too. You can have the whole family covered. Biogen, for the results you want. Visit biogen.co.za to find out how you can get up to 15% off Biogen products with Virgin Active.
What if we told you you can get all the football you want from only 399 Rand per month with DSTV Compact? All the Premier League, Betway Premiership, Serie A, La Liga, and a whole lot more. Because when it comes to football, we've got it all. All the stars, all the goals, all the derbies, all the action, all in one place. So get all the football you want. Get DSTV Compact now. The only place to watch football.
What do you get when you cross cutting-edge hybrid technology with a forward-focused attitude? Innovation with fuel economy and responsiveness with responsibility. What about when you cross battery power with petrol performance and regenerative braking power with the seamless synergy of an electric motor and petrol engine? Well, the answer is quite simply the Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid. Head to your nearest dealer and start crossing boundaries today.
Previously on Marawa sports worldwide.
An extraordinary atmosphere for an extraordinary lineup of men.
Now, Botswana celebrated Letsile Tebogo's historic achievement as he returned back home with the country's first ever Olympic gold medal. Now, supporters of all ages gathered at the Gaborone airport.
But look at Tebogo. He's going to make history. The first African man to win this title.
But Callistus, I hope you can hear us loud and clearly.
What is on the table right now is that there are 2 houses for Letsile Tebogo for his excelling performance at the Olympics. He's getting a house from the relays team. He's getting a high-cost house for the gold medal. He's also getting cash amounting to 1 million pula.
#MSW. #MSW.
Yeah, we're also live on the YouTube channel. The questions.
Hi, Rob. Greetings once again. This is Tomiati from Edenville. Rob, greetings to George and his wife. What a fantastic player. What an individual. My question to him, Rob, it was a make or break decision which he made by leaving Kaizer Chiefs to go to Sundowns. Looking at the criticism and the lashback which followed thereafter, and looking at George Levisi going there, not doing what was expected of him, how did he find strength in ignoring Kaizer Chiefs supporters' criticism of him? But does he regret going to Sundowns, leaving Kaizer Chiefs? What a combination also he had with Serero, Katsande, Kamabile at Ajax Cape Town. Thanks, Rob.
Hi, Rob. First and foremost, I'd like to apologize to George Maluleka for being angry at him, for not understanding the reason behind him leaving Kaizer Chiefs when he left Chiefs. And I've in my mind reinserted the Wai Chukucha moments, jersey number 12 at Kaizer Chiefs, and then remember those Malema days. So George Maluleka, I'd just like to say, my brother, I apologize for being angry at some of the things that we do not understand. But George Maluleka, I just want to say thank you for gracing us with your talent, especially at Kaizer Chiefs, because we've loved you, and when you left Chiefs, you had most of us. But it's water under the bridge. We wish you nothing but well in the future. Really, we hope we won't lose you, as I don't know whether you're still at AmaZulu's. George Maluleka, Hardim Faragate, thank you.
Oh, man. An apology. How often does that happen?
This is very rare.
Yeah.
Very, very rare. But there's no need for an apology, to be honest. This is, it's like I said, it was unfortunate, and it happened. Maybe, I don't want to say it was supposed to happen that way.
Yeah.
But that year, we were supposed to win the league as the Kaizer Chiefs, since I was there. But yeah, I mean, I left and it didn't happen. And a lot of people say it was because of me, which is fine. I also understand, and I also try and explain to them, But there's a lot of players, there were a lot of us. It's a team sport. It's team based. I did contribute my bit, for that season. And my agent couldn't I don't want to say finish the deal, but we couldn't agree on terms, unfortunately.
I see a book coming up, guys. Tebogo, good evening.
Good evening, Rob, and good evening to Mido.
Welcome, Bob.
Thank you. Rob, you don't get to play over 15 years at the highest level in this country if you are not an exceptional player. And I think George Maluleka is one of those great players that we've ever witnessed, both as a Kaizer Chiefs supporter, but also as somebody who supports football religiously. And I think he's going to find a club, teams that want to build a formidable middle field. There's a player that is available, which I think he's got everything that you need from a player. And for me, Rob, I just want to find out from George, also in a long-term vision for him, plans, considering that he's currently involved as well from a players' union perspective. What is it that he wants to see from that role? And what are the long-term plans from his side, being part of the players' union? Because I believe with his experience and with him having seen it all in football. I think is one person that I think can contribute immensely to our football and help players to get treated in a fair manner in South Africa. Thank you so much, George. You'll find a club. I'm an avid supporter of your football. All the best.
Oh, beautiful. Tebogo, thank you so much. In the East Rand, maybe we want to address those comments, though, because there were some very pleasant ones, and then we'll talk about your new role at SAFPU as the Deputy Secretary General of the Union.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think being a player and playing for that many years has really been an eye-opener, for me. And now that I am nearing, I'm not there yet, but I'm nearing the end of my career. Yeah. I would obviously want to help out and also, build the next coming generations. I'm still a player, so it is very difficult for me to get into my role as the DSG of the Players Union.
But isn't it exciting, though, because you know exactly, you're still fresh in, you're almost like dabbling your feet between the two. You're in the water, you're in the land, but you know exactly what it means to be a player and be paid 5,000 Rand and be exploited and not have maybe medical aid, not have all the basics that
Correct.
Players are supposed to get in a professional setup like the league that we have.
Yeah.
You have that privilege.
That is true. And it comes with that, we try and get the boys to be more financially stable, financial literacy. When it comes to budgeting, obviously the knowing of the contracts, the cases that also happen, like I said. I am Untandla Shabalala's deputy, so he's running with it, himself and Mr. Munyai.
Yes.
And they've done a tremendous job, and I really want to commend them while I'm still speaking about the SAFPU, but I just want the players to believe more in what SAFPU is trying to do, and the future is looking very bright. And like I said, Mr. Munyai and Mr. Shabalala have done tremendously well, and trying to rope us in that have been in the industry, for that many years to try and contribute wherever we can to help out.
He's a fighter, that Ntlandla Shabalala. Tight mark him. He's good people, that one. I'm not going to say he would have been with a certain organization that wears berets. I'm not going to say that, but I'm just saying he's a fighter.
Big Rob, good evening to you and good evening to your guest, the Malulekas. To George, what was the mood or what was the conversation like between you and the chairman and the club's coach when you're about to be released? Are you guys informed on a one-on-one basis, or those will not be signed? They are all called into a boardroom and then be told that their contracts will not be renewed.
Well, thank you so much indeed. I think a fair question, that.
It is fair. I love and respect President Zungu.
Yeah.
What a gentleman. And till this day, I've always thanked him for giving me that opportunity to be able to showcase what I can still do. And like I said, that first season at AmaZulu went pretty smooth, for me. And the second one was horrible, and we do speak, to answer his question. I was on speaking terms with the coach. We still chat, Coach Pablo, brilliant coach, amazing tactician, and very specific. Pays attention to detail. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say I had an idea, but obviously with all the injuries that happened, I was trying to push, which is why I was trying to push to be on the field.
And tell me about Foklauser. What's your impression about him?
He's a good guy. He's a good coach. Also, much respect to him. Foklauser was our coach when we beat Kaizer Chiefs 4-0 in Durban, and the way we planned for that match was just on point, and that's why you can't take that away from him, So it was unfortunate when he left, but I mean that's the name of the game, and that's what happens.
There's this notion that's always drifted around, and I think you're at a stage where you're very honest as a human being. Where people say sometimes, Sundowns will go purchase players to weaken the other teams. Is that something you picked up? Is that something... What's your observation?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Sundowns is a very ambitious team. They are very ambitious. From day one, when I arrived at Sundowns, the words were, we want to be the biggest team, biggest club in Africa, and we want to always compete with the best, to a point of even going to the Club World Cup, which they've achieved, now, even before, with Coach Pizzo. Yeah. And that's the motivation that the players get, that's what we got when we were there, to say, guys, clinch the title in South Africa, and then we move on to the next level now. We go for CAF, we go for that one all the way. So there were no limits at Sundowns.
Endless.
Good evening, Mr. Marawa. Ukhuluma noSibongeleni kaMkhwani kaMgaya Matafeni, and good evening to the Maluleka family. Bese ngithi salute kuSchicho. Wachicha amanye amadoda, emabhida amadoda. Mr. Marawa, it was an honor to have a player such as George Maluleka at our team, AmaZulu. I think the time that he spent with the team, I think most of the youngsters learn a lot from that guy, Mr. Marawa. He's a true professional. I just remember our last game, some other guys were shouting there and the grandstands, and George Maluleka was the only player who was brave enough to come to the supporters and calm them after the game, because most of the supporters were very angry at Moses Mabhida Stadium. I just wish Uschicho and his family everything of the best in future, Mr. Marawa. We thank him for what he did for our team, AmaZulu, in his time. Thank you, Mr. Marawa. Good show.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Ngiyabonga kakhulu baba. Yeah, I mean, we tend to get very emotional, with this in this game. And that's exactly what happened after that particular game. The fans were angry, and which was fair, because they expected a lot from us, and we didn't deliver on the day. So it's been coming, and they really wanted to fight and really get their voices heard. So,
and just to summarize, I mean, you talk about delivering. You sound like somebody who's a potential businessman in the making.
I'll take that. Thank you. But at the end of the day, we do need to deliver,
No, for sure. But the reason why I say that, I don't know if you remember, there was one December where you bought the overboards.
Oh, my word. You still remember too? That was years ago.
Yeah. No, we remember. Years ago means nothing. As long as our memory is not erased, we can always remember. You remember when, 1820 settlers came. You remember when Van Riebeck pitched up. You remember so many things that happened in the world. Why can't you remember something that happened a couple of Decembers ago?
Yeah, that was very special, And I think I explained to you the reason why.
Yeah.
I think I was still at Mamelodi Sundowns at the time, so no regrets whatsoever. But going back to delivering, there is a certain expectation that the players need to, reach.
Yeah.
And we didn't on the day.
When are we seeing you back on the field?
Very soon. I think
it's August now. So I only know of 12 months. I've never seen the month of soon.
You might even see me this weekend, Prarop.
This weekend?
You might. I said you might. It's possible. The league is starting very soon.
Starting in a month's time.
And that's very soon.
Andre, you sound like a spiritual gospel singer. Soon and very soon.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.